Hey everyone, welcome to a live with just Josh and his energy.
Yeah.
Oh, please. This was I was I was thinking this was gonna be on Josh's channel. So I was like, oh, I get to lay back, right?
I'm sorry.
This was Josh's idea on this one. Miss Sharon, hey Betty. I see you guys.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you, Casey. Seriously. Because, look, I'm random. In a heartbeat, I'll be like,
I know.
I'll just cancel it. I'll be like, nah, I can't do it. No, seriously. So just work in this ice. Like,
Yeah,
I'm tired. Yeah, I'm still having to go out and get it. Knees and hips and all that other stuff. So, yeah.
yeah.
I
So
didn't get,
it's pretty bad where you're at, the weather.
I mean, it's not really, the weather, it's bad, but it's not that bad. It's the people. You know what I'm saying? It's the people.
Yeah.
Look,
I know.
I got stuck yesterday. I got stuck uh, getting onto the interstate. It was one car in front of me, and they were acting like they had never driven like on snow or ice in their life. So they were like literally stopping every like 10 feet. I'm
Right.
like, come on, you got momentum, just keep going. And then this other car comes flying up behind me, and it's like on my bumper. So I'm like, oh. And
Pop
then
me.
yeah, the car in front of me starts to just slide backwards because they can't get traction. So I'm just like, man, come on. And the car behind me
That's
is like,
crazy for me to think that's in Texas.
it's
At least
people.
oh well that isn't that always the thing?
Yeah. So, I'm just like, man, it's not safe because of the other people that just.
I know. Let's see who we got in here. I saw Pop B, so I had to throw him up there. I mean, now Pop B, let's just go ahead and just call it out. I
Uh-oh.
mean, he'll be like on it, he'll be ever, and then like I'm like, he's MIA for like 4 months. I don't know where. I'm like, is he okay? Is anybody heard from him?
He's all right.
Southern me, glad you're here. Hi, Constitutional Carpenter. How you doing?
What up, man?
Woman of Spirit, Backwoods. I appreciate y'all. Montana Patriot. Hey, there's old Huckleberry.
In the building. Yeah.
But okay, so as because people start straggling in,
Well,
and this is true. Poppy, here we go. Just go ahead and change your call name and everything. So prepping our spirit. We talked about all the prepping. We've talked about this many times, and about prepping our spirit and the importance of that because some of the things that we're going to encounter and face, we're not going to be able to do a whole lot physically with it. Our physical being, or we're not going to be able to do that. Hey, McBean. Oh, you got the flu? I'm so sorry. That's miserable. Hey, Sheila.
is that
McBean. McBean's got the flu.
uh,
There's a lot of stuff going around. I keep getting calls and texts and people and emails. People are asking me. There's so much stuff going on, but
yeah.
Anthony, hey, I see you up there. If I miss anyone, I'm sorry. Okay, so Josh,
What?
world crisis.
Hey, there are so many moving parts to what's going on right now.
Right.
Seriously, the sense of urgency is still there. It hasn't changed, uh, and it's escalating, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? Like there are new red lines that are being crossed like daily.
Right.
Yeah. So, mm,
So we talked about when we were talking about doing this live. You had sent me stuff. So we were talking about preparing for all that's coming,
yes.
for the conflict. You want to hit them all at once, or you want me to list them out, or you want to do them one at a time, or
It
what?
doesn't matter. Look. It's gonna do what it's supposed to
Our
do.
brainstorming was we're going to come across things like the conflict, which we come across that now. We're going to see people passing for different reasons. That's just the harsh reality. We talk about that. We're going to see that in many different forms when it's coming. Shortages, we see that, but I'm not talking about the shortage we're seeing now. I'm talking about major shortages.
Yeah.
Family, our own family, or different families in need. And how we're going to stand strong in all this chaos. I mean, if war's on our front door,
The front, the back, the side, all of them.
around you, yes. Native must be. Hey, Native. Tammy, I see you guys.
Oh, man. Hey, he did an awesome deal the other night. I was captivated. I didn't know Native went that deep.
Native?
Yeah, I know he went deep, but he went in. I was like, wait a minute. You tapping all this thing?
Is that when you started glitching?
Probably. Yeah.
Native would get you a strike just being a guest.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was impressed, really impressed, truly impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, it's weird for me, seriously. So yeah, we're talking about like this whole thing. I don't know, like I always get pulled in these weird directions and stuff. So what came to me, three situations that I think we're all pretty familiar with as far as the Bible, and it was Job, it was Lot, and it was Noah.
Yep.
And each one of those things, the Bible is a living, moving. It's I don't know, it's crazy, but every time I hear the stories or I read the stories about these three people, I get different ideas and different learned teachings.
Right.
And so I think yeah, we'll get into what I got for each one. As we talk about this, but
No, I in those three, I think that we're gonna be a part of what they went through, what they stood for, what they did through what's coming. I think each one of them we're gonna at different times. Each of us probably at different times are going to experience that.
yes,
Those type of feelings, those type of things they went through. So
is
yeah.
it? You think we're ready for that? You think society, like you think
Society as a whole, no.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I do not. I'm just going to be real. I do not.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to be 100% ready? I don't think they were either. I mean,
Right.
I think that you do what you can, but that is what the part is about being spiritually prepared, because it's going to take, I mean, I can just speak for myself. It's going to take God working and being with me and in me to get through a lot that's coming. I can't do that on my own. How could any of us?
Yeah, especially when up is going to be down and down is going to be up. With the things that we've been taught in this man-made system aren't making sense. You know what I'm saying? When it breaks down and collapses, we're going to have to go back to our fundamentals, the Bible, the Word.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is crazy. Damn, seriously, this is crazy that we are actually engaged in a conflict with Russia and supposedly the Red Dragon by 2025. This is crazy.
I know. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, my husband and I were just talking about that today, and I was like, "Do we just keep running?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't want us to send this? Oh, it's going and then some. Oh, you don't want us to give them that? Oh, we'll just do that. Send the troops up there too. We'll fight with them. Go ahead.
Right.
I mean, it's nonstop. Yes, we know the whole thing about if there's distractions, if there's proxy war, if there's on and on. We know, but they want this to happen. They want because what better way to break everything down than to have this happen?
Yeah. Seriously. You know what the sad part is? We're just shooting. The sad part is that literally God's system, the system that we're supposed to be living under, right? Like Garden of Eden, all that stuff. The righteous system has been hijacked by these people.
Yeah.
And they've trained and they've taught us and they've molded us to their way of life. And now it's about to collapse. They're about to take it all away once we're like hooked on like work.
Well, I mean, this is like we always say, they do these things for decades. They plan and maneuver and make these moves, and we just see it as everyday life. I mean, how much have they made it so people don't even realize how dependent they are on the society they've created, and now they're about to snatch it all out, and people are going to lose their minds. And I try to remind people, I'm like, our ancestors did not have the things that you're worried about losing. It can be done. It can. So, get your head on right and quit thinking about, I'm going to lose internet. And I mean, there are ways to do things and survive. People did it before. They didn't have indoor electricity and plumbing and all that. People were more self-sufficient. But I mean, look at how even we talk about in the schools all that. Why do you think they've been dumbing people down for so many decades?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, common sense stuff, survival skills. They took it out of school. Anything, stuff like they've done that on purpose.
Yeah, the things that we actually need to know to have a successful life, they've excluded from like education, like the real world things.
Yeah.
And just even keep it simple. Like you see all these videos talking about like why aren't we being educated at a younger age on just financials,
Oh yeah, they don't
savings
do that
accounts, and
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead. I'm watching that.
What's that?
Oh, exactly. Who said this up here? Oh, I missed it. Anthony. Of course. They'll be fine. None of this applies to them. For thee, but not for me, is what their mindset is.
Yeah, I watched the video earlier today, and yeah, the video touched on a lot of that. And I had thought about it, but I really didn't think about like how much they're preparing for what's coming versus what we're preparing for what's coming. You know what I mean? It's
in all levels. And I,
yeah.
like there's a lot, and I got to be careful because but whatever. I had been talking for months about how there were certain grabs, there were certain just supplements. They were doing these grabs.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that they were pulling and grabbing and all that type of stuff, they've been stockpiling them.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for those particular ones, which I'm about to do a video on the Liberty Tree about that. But because I mean, they know what they're doing, just like this stuff that's been going around for a couple years now. Yeah. They have the stuff to take care of it. You see, none of the top, all these people that are old as dirt. You didn't see them kicking off from it.
Yeah.
But because they have what they need for it. They have the true stuff for it.
Yeah. That's where my urgency comes from for this whole situation.
Yeah.
Let's tap in though. Let's tap in. So number one for me, the three guys that I talked about. Lot. Right? Lot. We all know the story of Lot.
Yep.
Sodom and Gomorrah, the fallen not the fallen angels, but the two angels that came down. Sodom and Gomorrah was absolutely corrupt. Just horrible. Just whatever you could think of. And to be honest with you, I'm sorry, y'all. Look, I absolutely love this country, but I'm gonna tell you, we are in Sodom and Gomorrah.
I absolutely think that America is the new Sodom and Gomorrah.
But this is what I'm saying. This is how cool the good book is. It tells you this stuff.
Yeah.
It told you what things were gonna be like way back when, and we're here now. So in spiritual eyes, you can recognize it. Sodom and Gomorrah. And so the angels were there. The people came out. They said, "Hey, show us these guys." Whatever transpired with that. But then, as Lot was leaving with his family, and this is what really like it nugged on my heart. It was just a simple fact, and we all know his wife. She needed to turn around and take a look. She wanted to see her house one last time.
Yeah.
Just wanting to see her house one last time. She turned around and boom, that was it. Her experience was done on this planet. Everything. So if we listen to what the good book says and we follow its examples, can you imagine when this thing goes left, losing property, that type of thing? I was the last live stream, Vision Preparedness was on it, and we were talking about how when this thing collapsed, when it really hits, that house that you spent 30, 40 years to pay for, that might not be your house. That car.
Yeah, all your possessions, all the stuff that they've treated just work, say buy all these things. In a snap, it can be gone from
Yeah. What's going to determine whether it's yours or not is your ability to defend it. That's speaking physically, but spiritually, people are going to lose their minds, and we can tap in. Listen, right now in this Sodom and Gomorrah, people are letting their physical possessions tell them their worth in society. Oh, you drive a Mercedes Benz, you got a $500,000 house, you got $1 million house. Yeah, you must be the man. You're doing it. Yeah. And when that goes away, people are going to lose it. The Great Depression, the New York Stock Exchange, when they jumped out of the building, that is going to be rampant. There are going to be people who said, "Look, I spent the majority of my physical existence here on this planet working to build up this nest egg. Right. And it's going to be gone.
It's going to be gone. And we're going to see that, we talk about that cliche, the history repeats. I sadly do think we're going to see that. What went on during the people when they just were like, oh my gosh, it was so devastating, I just give up, like went on the Great Depression. We're going to see that. And that's part of the thing of preparing ourselves.
Yeah.
A lot of us are going to experience and see and things that we could never imagine or been through in our life.
Yes. Yeah.
But you can't, it's just not being cold hearted, but we can't just fall to that and just, we have to, like, say everything, trauma, you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep, and that's preparing yourself, mentally and spiritually for what's coming. Because we're going to see things we can't physically fix for others to help, or even ourselves. Sometimes we can't.
Hey, if there's anything in your life right now that you cannot walk away from physically, seriously, I'm being straight up and I'm being honest. The rubber is going to hit the road within the next, I don't know, decade or whatever you want to call it. If there are physical things that you cannot walk away from, really, y'all need to, we have to start working on that. We have to start at least starting to cut that, to cut that rope. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I mean, and this is speaking for me. I'm not a materialistic, frivolous. I'm like very simple about things, but I am super sentimental. I mean, like it would have no value to somebody else. It's my grandmother's stuff, and my grandmother, like both of them, they were everything to me. And I'm like, that comes with us, but it doesn't. Those are those things like that. Or, if I even think about like, if we had to take, the run for the hills in the Bible, it's like, all right, God, if you tell me it's time to run for the hills, then I think, oh my God, on my preps, how are we going to survive? You do think about things like that. But mine is things like the sentimental side and my preps. You're never going to, that's why the, kind of bunkering in is always your safest resort. But you have to have the ability to say, they're coming down my street, I got to go. Or they're coming through, you have to, and that is going to be hard because our security is in our homes with our things, even if it's just the prep things, that is a security. And I think that's where our trust and faith in God, because it's like, all right, you saw this coming, I have to walk away from this. And this is my security blanket of my preps to survive. You have to trust that. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because it ain't going to be easy for me either.
There are going to be so many people. Like, look, we're talking about this. We're just tossing this up in the air and just playing around with it. But what I'm saying is, when the rubber hits the road, there are going to be so many people that will not be able to do this. They will not do it, and because they can't release, their sentimental, whatever it is, on physical possessions, that's going to be it for them. We're talking about preparing spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Well, look in the Bible when, people, says, God, if you call, then I will follow you. I'll drop everything. They left everything. That happened. You have to be able to walk away from everything.
Yeah.
And all our callings, if we are, and not all of us are going to be called to do that. It depends on where we live. We talk about that in prepping all the time. But I think we all need to be mentally and spiritually prepared if that happens, because none of us are immune to that happening.
Yeah. And for me, the realest aspect of it, seriously, is like we're talking about this, but literally having to do it.
Yeah.
All my little pews, all my little toys.
You can't carry all of it. You'd bog yourself down. You can't.
God, are you sure? Look, wait, hold on. Let's talk about this. Wait.
I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't meant for me.
Right. You really want me to do this? And I'm gonna have to, seriously. I understand where I'm going in the trust. When I put the trust into the Father, I understand where I'm going. I know I can't lose. And that's when I'm gonna have to be like, lie. I'm gonna have to keep telling Josh, lie, Josh. Just, I know you don't like it. Lie. Let's go. Don't,
You have to. And don't turn around and look back either.
Yeah, man.
Just let it go.
Oh, it's gonna be tough.
It is. And let me because we were talking about different verses.
Yeah.
Let me throw this one in, because we talk about different verses and hard times. And this is to me, it applies to all of these things we could come across. John 16:33. It says, "These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. in the world, you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. It says it. There's no you may. This will be after the second coming. You're immune to this. We are going to face tribulation. And we've talked about instances in history that are horrific. I cannot imagine some of the things that went on in history. We've talked about that those people went through, that they could not think of anything worse on this physical earth that they could go through. They were not going to be immune to that. We are going to go through it. And you might as well just accept it. Hey, this is coming. That's not being doom and gloom. But I'm kind of okay, let me go ahead and have all, just go ahead, good, bad, and ugly. Let me go ahead and prepare for that. And
Yeah.
that reminds me of that verse.
Yeah, this is where we're at. Seriously, right now, this is where we're at. I'm so thankful that we have this platform, and everybody that's here. I'm so thankful that we're able to chop this up.
I'm watching y'all over there.
Yeah.
So, what you got? What else you got? Who else you got?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I got Jesus. I'm all right. Casey, stop it. All right, let's see. So we can just happen with this real quick. So I don't know. This sometimes I think too much or whatever, but we talked about the fact that we are in a man-made system, and the man-made, the things that they've built up are going to pass away. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Job.
That's I can relate.
Hey, I don't want to walk in Job's shoes ever. No. I don't, because it's tough. I don't, just being real, I don't know if I can pull it off the way Job did.
I guess until you're faced with certain things, and you don't have. But see, I think that's still part of that where I say, well, no, God, I didn't do it. This is, how they say God doesn't give you more than you can handle. Yes. I do not believe that. I believe, because if I had, any of us, if I had to handle it, things I have gone through, I would have broken, folded, and been on my face a long time ago. God's not going to give us more than he can handle through us or supply us, strengthen us for. And he knows that. And I think that's what it comes down to. When you're in that, it's going to be him and you going through, coming over things.
Yeah. Seriously. I don't know why. Seriously. Hey, fam. T-Paul. Hey, Miss Sharon. I don't know why, but my mind just went to like Braveheart, where he was like, freedom at the end. That was absolutely like the worst. And you're just talking about like the things we may have to go through. Not that. We won't go through. I don't think we'll go through that. But that level of severity of really just like things collapsing and falling apart and you losing all your physical possessions and just, and at the end, what they like, he saw his like wife walking through the crowd or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're gonna have to go through the fire to get to the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so the man-made possessions, that's gonna go away.
Yep.
Job, this is where I got this from. For Job, we're talking about like unfairness and being blind to the things that are gonna happen to us. And I know that sounds bad. Things are gonna happen to us moving forward. Look, fam, it's not doom and gloom, but this is why we're having these conversations. So no stone is left unturned.
That's right.
Almost. Yeah, almost. At least you talked about it. We thought about it. Unfair things are going to happen. And I'm going to be honest with you. I seriously do feel like I could be wrong. Casey, let me know if I'm wrong.
Not John.
Fairness. I don't know if fairness is a man-made thing or if it's a God thing. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it.
Right.
But I have a very funny feeling that the thought of that's not fair is going to go away. We're not gonna.
Yeah, it's not. Well, we're gonna feel. We are gonna feel that way.
Okay.
Because I mean, could you like losing all your stuff or your preps, or we're like, man, I did everything I was supposed to get to what was coming to face us, and it was all this happened. Everything was stripped away. I had to run. And I'm like, man, that's not fair. I did my part. Now look, I think we are going to come across things like that, and some of us are, some of us aren't. We're all going to have different,
That's exactly where I got it from. What you just said. Yeah, that was my thinking behind it, but I was uncertain. I'm glad you clarified that for me.
Yeah.
So Job, the things Job didn't even know what was going on with him. He was just like, what is this?
Right.
They even said that his friends came and they were like, Job, what did you do? You had to have done something. God is just. He wouldn't just do this to you. What is? And he didn't know. And again, this system is collapsing. This man-made system is collapsing. Native, what you think, Native? Am I talking crazy or what? Talking about? This man-made system is.
He'll jump right now. I bring snacks. We go down the rabbit hole.
Really? So there are a lot of things again in this man-made system that I think are going to leave, and we're so used to having these things: fairness, justice, like not vengeance, but to a sense, justice, the law. A lot of things are going to go out of the window, and we're still going to be trying to hold on to what we're used to. Where's the justice in this? Where's the fairness in this? Where's the equality? And it's not going to be there. This is going to be a turbulent time. And again, if spiritually, if you aren't in the Word, if you aren't rooted in the foundation, seriously, of like Jesus' teaching, the Bible,
right?
You're gonna wind up falling for this stuff, trying to figure out why is this not fair? This ain't right. God would not do this because it's
how
not.
many people been through things and they said, "Well, where was God when this happened to me?
Yeah.
Where was God when I was going through this?" And we've talked about I use an example for somebody's ever mad at God. We're gonna have these questions because we're human, And we what do we say all the time? People are going to fall emotionally and way before they do physically, and I think that's part of the spiritual part that has to brace us more than anything.
Yeah. Casey, I'm gonna pivot a little bit. Tell me if I'm wrong. Just doing this out. Y'all know I'm crazy. Appreciate you, man. Paradise Acre. That was in the building. Dark Angel. Really? 100. Hey.
Dark Angel's my girl. She's always showing me love.
She's cool because I was like, Dark Angel. All right. I got you, sis.
Fine. I got you for her.
That's what's up. No, so I'm gonna pivot a little bit. So just everything that's going on. So it's just a thought. But China, I'm sorry, the Red Dragon. When this conflict starts, seriously, I think UKR is the playbook.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think one day we're just gonna wake up and then boom, it's just gonna be on and popping. Seriously, right. I think that it's gonna be like 6 months, just like over there, 6 months where Amazon is only gonna have 50% of its stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember, fam? Hey, tell me if I'm crazy. Do you remember before Amazon, where people were just starting to use it? They were like, "Hey, try Amazon." I was like, "What? I gotta wait for it? I'm not about to pay for it and Walmart. Wait. I'm going to get my stuff today."
Right.
And now it's the only way to go.
Yeah.
So if this conflict kicks up with the Red Dragon, I think it's going to be 6 months before an actual physical conflict. But the medications are going to be
we're seeing that. We've been seeing that.
Okay.
But look where most of them come from.
Yeah.
All they do is cut that line right off, and that's a hit on us, and they know that's weakening us. They're weakening it, everything. Yeah. The system. Seriously. Yeah.
Amazon might have 50% of what it has. You might, it'll probably be delivered on time, but they probably won't have half the stuff. Wally World, half of the stuff. I think that'll be the first signs of the conflict, and just that within itself, just that, it's going to change the entire landscape of this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the shortages we're talking about. It's not even the shortages we've been seeing in the last couple of years. Even the worst time in the last 2.5 years or whatever, shortages that we saw in the store. That's not going to be anything compared to what I think. I know it's coming. You just don't have it.
Yeah.
You go into a grocery store, they don't have it. It's just not there.
Yeah. And with the time frame of that general, supposed to be like 2025? 2025? That's right around the corner. So we may start, I'm just throwing this out here, guys. We may start seeing like these more severe shortages, coming
within the next 2 years.
Yes.
I think so. And, you always got to look at the timing of when things are going, let's say politically, time frame of different things. They're never going to let an opportunity go to waste. They're always going to use something they can in their favor, whichever they have to turn it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Job stood the test of time. And with Job, it wasn't fair. we can look at the story of Job right now, and we know that in the end things worked out. But while it was happening, it wasn't fair. There's gonna be a lot of things, guys, and I try not to go too dark, Casey, but at the same time, I want people to understand.
That is, I don't think that's going dark. I think that's reality of how it is.
Yeah. So
when he was in, when you're in it, when you're going through it, like, man, I'm going through it. It is, you don't feel like it's fair. He didn't know how it was going to end when he was going through it. The outcome.
So when grandma can't get her, when she can't get the things that she needs for survival, I don't want to say too much, but whatever services she needs to make it from 1 week to the next. And, in other areas, there's still, things aren't going to be fair, and people may pass, things may happen.
Right.
And a lot of people are going to be stuck and they're, fed up, tired, hungry, all those things, confused. Yeah. So as far as fairness, guys, spiritually speaking, we're going to have to get to a point as to where we don't use fairness as a tool to gauge, how we should respond. We just have to believe. There's going to come a point in time where it's almost like we're going to have blinders on. We can't look to the left. We can't look to the right. We can't see what they're doing. We have to just follow the plan.
Right. It's that balance of being aware, having your head on swivel, so you're you're aware, your own safety and survival. But I don't know if it's a detachment. I think there are certain things that have to come on that you're like, I can't do anything about this or this situation or this person or help or fix or save it. Yeah. We can't sit and stay down in that. And that sounds cold-hearted. But when it comes down to when everybody's in survival mode, I mean, you see that throughout history when people were just, they would have to leave. Maybe they had a family member that had passed right there in a horrific situation. Well, they're like, hey, I need everyone to stop because I got to give them a proper goodbye. I got to do.
Right.
That didn't happen. At different times. And that doesn't seem fair, right? That isn't fair. And it's, but I think that, I think we're going to see things like that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, fam, I'm not trying to do the doom and gloom or make things bleak or dark or whatever. But this is the reality of the situation. Listen, we are literally talking about nuclear conflict with 2, 3, 4 nuclear superpowers on this planet, and things are moving in that direction. So that's what we're talking about. It's a 50-50 gamble. If those things fly, legit for me, it's a 50-50 gamble.
It is.
Yeah.
You see what Native said?
Hey, when Casey was just when she was just clarifying what I was throwing out there, when she was picking up what I was putting down, yeah, I got the hairs on the back of my neck starting to stand up.
When Josh gets quiet, he's processing all that. He's like, his wheels are turning. He's quiet though.
Is that what it is?
You get quiet, you're like, oh.
Yeah. Oh man. Look, I'm thankful to be in this time period, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I am. What is it? Worrisome? What's a good word? Worrisome or I don't know, something to be here.
Yeah, I mean, there's times I think I'm like, man, what a time to be alive. We are witnessing all this. We are seeing this unfold before our eyes. We were chosen to be here in this time right now. That we were chosen, all of us, right? Yeah. But then there's times I have a thing and I think I feel sorry for my children that they don't know a more peaceful, normal world, And now this isn't just new. Yes, they've been doing these plans for decades and decades, and I'm not saying that, but how it is right now, we didn't grow up with stuff like this.
No.
And so I think about that, and that's normal. I mean, we have to give ourselves that grace that, of course, we think this isn't. I mean, they don't. That's not how unfair is that they don't get to have this kind of a normal. I mean, look at these children before the way that they see things in this world and face coverings and all that stuff. I mean, could you imagine walking around when you were a child and seeing all that?
Yeah.
And now this is just this is normal. And that's just one example, but
seriously.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube video that I absolutely love. It pops up in my feed like once every 3 or 4 months, and it's a high school. It's like back in the 80s, like 83, 84. I'm a little bit old, but it shows the high school kids back then with no cell phones, with the mullets and you know what I mean, the MC Hammer pants. It just looks awesome. Like they're dancing, everybody's talking, they're hugging and high fiving, and you know what I'm saying, football, and it's life. And now all we have is like heads down, just buried in a cell phone.
Well, I think like all this, I talk about this before, is that, we, of course, most of us all, we know it isn't what they claim it's for. But look at the division, the divide and conquer, isolation, isolation, isolation. No, we'll break everything down. Because that makes so many people more compliant, depend on them. Because I mean, how many people they're going to put us in situations? People will say, if you don't do X, Y, Z, then you don't get all this. You can't have that. You can't shop. You can't get medical. On and on and on. How many people are going to be like? And especially when it hits your children. I mean, as a parent, you're going to be like, I'm going to do whatever I can for my child, right? I mean, that's what it is. But we have to know that. I think that's part of people think it's fear mongering. I'm like, you better prepare yourself now how you're going to handle that situation and what you're going to do.
Seriously. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm thankful for this simply because I'm spending more time in the Word. I'm like actually researching and seeking and asking for insight.
Right.
But yeah, the things that we're about to experience whenever it happens, it's gonna be different, like really different. And I don't know how much of our society right now is prepared for it.
I don't. I mean, like sometimes I think there's more of us than they want us like-minded people. There's more of us than they want on. But if you're in your everyday existence, your everyday coming and going to the store around people, you're like, there's no like-minded people that are really where I'm at. I mean, they're talking about like, oh yeah, and I'm like, I wouldn't, tell them what I was doing and put a target on myself, like that. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think the majority of society is. I mean, I don't feel like they are.
Yeah.
Yes, Leslie. I constantly talk about this, praying for discernment, because stress and like the things we talk about being stressed about, and also, the things that are coming, we're going to go through. You talk about sleep deprivation and stuff like that. When it hits, you think you're just going to be peacefully sleeping 6 and 8 hours a night. That's all of that messes with your mind, and you have to pray for that because you're not going to. Your judgment isn't going to be the same to make decisions and do things.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're talking about this. Look, the physical preps, they get highlighted. They get lifted up, and that's like the talk of the town. That's the popular.
That's the excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you really start talking about this kind of stuff, like it's really. It's almost like you're gonna have to walk that path alone, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like the rubber is really gonna have to hit the road, and it's different. You know what I mean? I'm glad that you guys are here and we're here talking about it seriously. Hey, Casey, did you ever imagine seriously, like I don't know, like 10 years ago? Did you ever imagine that we would be doing this on YouTube like this?
No, it is your fault I'm on YouTube.
No, absolutely not. No,
I didn't. I knew that things, even when I was little, I had a sense that even when I was little, I used to say, well, I'm not just going to pass. I'm going to go in the second coming. That's just how I'm going to go. I always felt like that. And I always felt like there was going to be, my whole life, there was going to be some type of, something like we're coming into. Like I would always think back to like Holocaust stuff. I would think back to what they went through. And I didn't, but I said, oh, it's going to be in America. We're going to go through something like that. I used to always think that. But then there's times now, sometimes I'm taken back and I'm like, I didn't think that how did we get here?
Yeah.
But no, I didn't. I can't say that I 100% really felt that way.
Man, YouTube, live streams, UKC, look, Dark Angel, TNT, Chaos.
All y'all.
This is something from a dream. Like, what am I even doing here right now? It's just, I appreciate it, but it's crazy. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, I do appreciate all y'all here.
What's that?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of things, I think that some of us don't even know we are going to go through some of the stuff that Job went through. Be
Yeah.
sitting there in the ash is how you're going to feel, um, you know. And
Yeah.
I hope that we remember the good book and remember the outcome. We have, always think, at the end, no matter what happens, God wins in the end. We know the end of the story. But in between, he says in his word, we are not immune to suffering. We are going to face tribulations.
Thank you.
And, I always different things in life, hard times, different things were coming up. I'm like, okay, God already knew it was going to happen before it did. He's already on the other side of it. And if he was okay with me experiencing and going through this, then I have to learn to be okay with it, no matter what it is. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but we have to say he could have stopped it in a blink, right? So if he's okay, he's allow it to continue, then I have to press on and trust him, not myself, because I'm not going to feel that way. I know I'm not.
Yes. That's what I always say. That's why I always say. This is for me, just for me. This is like it's a learning experience. God's like our parent. They're watching. He's watching us, but he knows that in this physical existence, seriously, he knows that it's just a blink of an eye. He knows that ultimately we really can't be hurt. I mean, we can
Right.
probably choose to go the other way, but because there are so many things that happen, and like you said, it's like God, why would you let this happen? But it
Right.
happens. It's so for me. This has to be. It has to be learning experiences, and it puts things in perspective because then I realize that I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying? I just have to play the game. I just have to keep walking. But at the end,
Right.
I'm gonna win. My dad's got me. My father's got me.
Yeah, it is true because, I mean, we've talked about this before in our life. I don't even remember which one it was, but you remember even when Jesus knew what was coming,
Yeah.
he went into the wilderness and he was so scared and he wept and he's like, "Is there any other way?" I mean, I think we're all going to at some point be like, "Please, is there any other way? I don't want that." Of course, none of us want to suffer.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through all that, but there was no other way. It had to happen. What happened? And with I mean, that had to happen, and he didn't stop that. And so certain things that we're going to go through or experience or are coming our way are going to happen.
Yeah.
And we need to know mentally that is coming.
Yes. Hey, it's crazy, but in a certain sense, I'm sad that this system is coming to an end. But in another instance, it has to happen, and I'm glad that it's happened.
Yeah.
As bad as it's going to be, because seriously, like you said with the kids, I want the kids to know that there was a better way to grow up. There was, you know what I'm saying, playing
Oh, yeah.
outside in the dirt. It wasn't always like this. And so, the good book tells us exactly what's going to happen. So I'm kind of sad that we're at the tail end of it, but I'm glad that there will be a new beginning where we can start over and the kids and people can, not have to deal with all this junk.
Oh, I know. I even tell my kids sometimes if there's like hard things that go on, or say they were just even sick and they're little or something, kids, they feel awful and they just want mama. They're so sick and they feel awful and they're whatever.
Yeah.
And, no matter what, it could be something so simple or so huge, like what we're talking about now. I'm like, none of that's in paradise. This has an end. We know our eternity, and there is none of that. Things we suffer with or things that we struggle with, that's all going to be wiped clean. It's just, there's this book, and here I am. I know Corey Ten Boom,
Yeah.
but it's called Marching Orders: The End Battle.
You got all kinds of books over there, Casey.
I love books, and I love, but like on the back of it says, the devil knows that his time is short, and so everything we're going through right now is heading for the great and final battle, and it's about preparing. Those are your marching orders for the end time, and I do believe that because we're kind of in that going through it. There's not any way to dodge or go or avoid this, but through it.
That's it.
And you have to be as ready as you can. And I think none of us are going to be completely ready. We can have all the stuff, but we're not. But none of my physical things, like if we lost everything, our security of all our things, all our preps, all stuff in our home, you would have, what would you have to lean on?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, when I had my revelation at 17,
Yeah.
I mean, at 17, you don't have a lot in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have a car. I think I had like a little part-time job, pizza, $50 a week type deal, whatever. But there was an instance where whatever it was I was experiencing spiritually, it was so awesome. Everything was just, my life was, it seemed perfect. And I had nothing.
Right.
That I was like, I know that if it was like a fork in the road, I could choose to stay on this path. And it sounds crazy, but I probably really would be like, probably homeless or something, but
Right.
happy and content. And I knew without a doubt, that God would take care of me in any situation, any circumstance, no matter what. And I didn't stay in that too long. I went back to the other things.
Yeah.
And, I went back to my normal life after like 2 or 3 weeks of just sitting on the curb, just praising and worshiping and just being happy to be alive and gratitude and stuff. But I went back to my regular routine as a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
But the memory of how, literally, when you have nothing and you are truly at that point as to where you will submit and let him take care of you, it will be done. It will.
Right. And that's our thing, is to submit. Because a lot of times we want to have control over things.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always mean that you're bad for wanting to have control. That is probably a security for us. It gives us like, no, I still want to have my hand on this because I need that security that I'm kind of in control of that. That safety net of whatever.
Right.
But yeah, they just come down that.
But then we really aren't even in control of anything. No, I'm with you.
That's just our own fleshly comfort.
Right. I love the sense of, the bills are paid, everything, everything is okay, but no emergencies popping up. I'm okay. But then it's his plan. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. What about this one? We'll carry on. We'll continue.
Yes.
Noah. Hey.
Ultimate prepper.
Seriously. Hey, wasn't Noah like the best prepper on the planet? Like, he prepped way harder than probably any of us.
Yeah. And people laughing the whole way, and he's still, because don't we get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, man, you got all that stuff in the garage, all that food, you're never going to use it. Da, 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 da. Let something happen. Let the power go out, dude. Hey, you can go out, what you got over there? What you got? Seriously. That's another thing with people. When this thing really starts to unfold, there's going to be a period of time, and probably now, the initial stages, where we can kind of still get what we want. Look, prices, everything is going up.
Right.
You can't just go and grab like a 10-pound bag of rice like you used to, and just just not even think about it. Just throw it in not even think. Prices on everything is going up. Gas is I think it was $3.23 today.
Yeah, ours is $3.29. It's been hanging at that.
Yeah. Everything is going up. There's going to be a right now where you can still get what you need, do what you need to do, get your mind, spirit, and get those things in order, which is the time right now, because there will be a time where you won't be able to. And Noah told people that. Everybody who came and looked at the ark, Noah told them exactly what was going on. He told them.
But he kept on prepping.
Yeah.
Kept on. Because how much have we talked about that? They were like, these people are going to come against you and say stuff and you're like, you better keep moving forward. Yeah. Don't sit there and go waste and stop doing what you got to do to try to beg and convince and plead with somebody. Hey, I told you. I warned you. You see us doing this. Do something for yourself. And that's the same thing about salvation. We talked about that. Yeah. What is it? What is it, Josh? Say it. I told you what?
Wait, what? Fill me in, because I don't want to miss it.
You remember we talked about things like you witnessed to somebody 3 times.
Oh yeah, no. I was going to say that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, 3. I told you. I'm not going to sit and stop my path to beg and plead with you to do something. Because I'm telling you what, I was talking to a dear friend of mine earlier, and we were talking about. I'm going to get to this Paradise Acres because I want to talk about that. We were talking about. See, I totally lost my train of thought.
You went squirrel. Hutch normally goes squirrel. Or backwards. Backwards goes squirrel.
Oh, we were talking about how many people. This is what it was. When things really hit and come front and center, it's plopped up in their front, door.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have moments they're going to remember hearing things about prepping and getting ready and what was happening. And they're going to think, "Oh my, I wish I would have," because that's going to happen. People are going to have moments where they remember, man, they were telling me about that EMP. Now sometimes I think that's going to come. I think about that one often because that is the slow way to take it. Mm-hmm. And it would be like how, a flood in that certain way, how it would break things down. And people would lose their minds for stuff that, can you imagine?
Yeah.
And I think that is something that's going to come.
Yeah.
There's something with the grid. And like I've talked before, that can come in many different forms when they do that. Yeah. But go ahead.
My little Nostradamus prediction. I said that. So I just try to think about things logically. It probably won't happen that way at all. But so China, I'm sorry, the Red Dragon. They probably they'll really get active once like our economy kind of tanks, because then they can't use us. We have nothing to offer them at that point. They don't need to manufacture anything for us if our economy is tanked. If we're not moving, logistics isn't moving, that type of thing.
Right.
So I think that could push them, over the edge to where it turns into a physical, conflict. So yeah, I'm with you on EMP. I see that coming big time.
Oh, I think that, I think that's going to be a Red Dragon thing.
Yeah.
Because that would be crippling. And then what do they do? They're going to weaken somebody. Yes. I see you backwards. See, I'm behind the chat. Yes, squirrel. I totally was just like blank.
Hey, I'm good. Look, when I go.
Another thing. Wait a minute, backwards. Whose thing were you on this morning? You were sitting up there in top. You were sitting in top chat. You hush. The chat is shame. I've been there. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I don't even see that.
Yeah, I go squirrel all the time, and I just. You guys probably know it. I'll go squirrel, and I'll just start talking about something totally
different. I felt glad to go in this direction.
Yeah, you're probably like, what is he talking about? I don't know.
That is right, Poppy. I mean, they're not smart. You can, it's on them. I don't mean that cold-heartedly. I mean, that's just, that's all right, Parasite. That was me. I do that often.
But hey, so Noah, one of the beautiful things, and this is, it's like a puzzle, and it always fits. The good book, the Bible, literally everything that it is trying to teach us, parables, metaphors, stories, examples, everything is literally like equipping us for what is coming our way. It really is. You can take the 10 Commandments or whatever you want, and it'll stand true. Everything that is telling us is to try and get us through this time period that we're about to go through. That's beautiful to me. Yeah. Seriously. Noah had God in his ear telling him, hey, build an ark. We're going to throw a couple animals in it. This place is going to be destroyed. Da, 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 da. We have the Bible, which is telling us basically the exact same thing.
Yeah. And I mean, how many times do we say it's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow?
Nothing more than the sun.
I mean, so many people are like, that was back then. That didn't apply today. Look at it. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry to tell you. But yeah, I think that, we talk about all these playbooks that they have, right? This is the ultimate playbook. It's our guide. I mean, what are we going to, that is where you're going to find the answers. And how many times have we said, oh, you remember I've known this verse forever. I've read it a million times, and you read it again, you're like, oh my gosh. Because that's the only one that can talk to you differently in that way when you need it. And you know,
Yeah.
Tech. I see a lot of y'all coming in here. See, Bassett, if I've missed you, but I see y'all over there. But I can't because I'll squirrel and I have to stay on.
Yeah, you know how that goes. Yeah. So yeah, Noah had God in his ear, and we have the good book. So one of the things that literally just drives me crazy is when we do tell people about like where we're at. I don't want to talk about this. Where we're at, where we're at, what's going on. It's like, and they're still like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's business as usual, whatever. I'm like, bro, fam, have you not read anything in the Bible? It tells you exactly where we are at right now and what's coming next.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why I have moments where I'm very more dumbfounded than what we're seeing in this world. Like all this awful is that people don't see it and don't have the thing of like, hey, the good book told you, and it warned you. If you got to start in the last book of the Bible, then start there or something. But you need to hurry up. I mean,
seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, and nobody can say that they weren't told or they didn't know or they weren't warned. Right. Like legit, it's there.
Yeah, but somebody said up there earlier, which I can't say it on here. You know how they're coming out and say, "Why did the ones that didn't take it? Why didn't they warn us about who that's?" And I'm like, and they're going to pull that. That's that mental stuff that they do. And there's going to be people. I mean, well, example. Noah, look at those people. Told them. They laughed at me. I told you. And then what happened? It started to rain, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, let me up here!" And we're going to come across people in our time like that because people are going to be like, "I'm like, I tried to tell you," and everyone. There's so much stuff around us that was trying to tell you and trying to warn you and told you to do just little things. You don't have to make it difficult. And sorry, but my doors are closed now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paradise. Yeah, she just hit it. Normalcy bias. Yep. It's the programming. It's the programming.
Yeah.
From public education, which that's what I had. So public education to the programming on televisions to society, this AI stuff, all of this, it's programming. Mm-hmm. They're pointing us in the direction that they want us to go in. We're going in. Look, I've talked about this before, but it is ridiculous how much time we spend working. Like, you know what I'm saying? If this is a physical, spiritual learning environment, our time here on Earth.
Right.
Why are we spending 75% of our time working? I'm not saying we're not supposed to work.
And I'm telling you, exactly, that goes to what we were first talking about. And they're going to snatch the rug out, and people are going to think, my stuff, my home, all my things, my big screen TV, my this, my that, and I don't know. I've never put a lot of weight into frivolous, materialistic, extra comfort. I want to do simple stuff, but probably because I was raised by I was raised with that instilled in me. But then there's things I am sentimental things, prep stuff. It's going to be hard, but I don't know. I don't know how. But it is. It's the same programming of work, buy, keep up with the Joneses. You need to have this. Oh no, you have to have this. You got to have this. You've got to do this.
Yep.
And that, I think, to me, that is they've shifted things over from what's really important, what's really valuable, what's really needed, to that's dumbing them down. Let's take that away, and they got to have all this stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a con game. We can't take any of this stuff with us. But yet we spend I'm just throwing numbers out, 75% of our life working to acquire these things. I know we need them.
Yeah.
Hey, just being honest, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, fam, look, I hate to say this on the mic, but I'm having a hard time. I am.
You're what?
I'm having a hard time. I'm just saying.
Of course.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
You're gonna have a hard time like losing stuff, walking from stuff.
Man, my pews and
you might get stuff all over.
Look, no electricity. I'm still gonna have my PS5 in my arms. Like, you coming with me, baby?
You're not taking this.
Yeah, I'll break it before y'all get it. No.
Yeah, I understand. It is gonna be hard. but that's part of tribulation. This isn't going to be little stuff. This isn't going to be, oh man, I went through this hard time, or it's not going to be like that. I mean, these are things that are we could never imagine. Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be some of that too, like stuff that we just look. I've watched documentaries. What was it, World War I, World War II, over in Germany? I've watched documentaries of how horrible human beings can be to one another, and that is what we're heading into.
Yep.
So, yeah, it broke my heart just to listen to some of the documentaries of the things that happened, and literally that's what we're heading into, like 2.3.0. You know what I'm saying? Back then they didn't have all the conveniences. They didn't have microwaves. They didn't have Amazon. They didn't have all the conveniences that have dumbed us down and made us weaker as a society.
That dependency, and they used to have to work for things differently than we did. Things were not simple, and so to us it just seems so foreign that, I mean, simple things, meals or anything else. I mean, whenever you've had to get wood and start a wood stove, and make your meals that way, it's the only way they used to be able to make them, right? And that was just lifestyle. That was common knowledge. That's how they, and they've done all these things. But I think they've made all these modern conveniences for all these decades on. And you think this is great. I've thought certain things, man, this is great. Certain things.
Yeah.
But again, it dumbed us down. It made us dependent. If they take it, a lot of people, they're not going to know what to do with themselves. That to me is, and that's scary and sad that people can have the resources and things right around them, and they're not going to know what to do.
Hey, can you imagine an EMP? Like, seriously, but the small things, all of like the teenagers, all of the kids, all of no internet, no cell phone, boom, no social media, it's done.
Yeah.
That right there would just, people wouldn't know how to act. They wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
And I think also to pivot off of that is when that happens and people start losing their minds, people are going to get violent. People are going to do crazy things and act crazy. And then those of us are like, oh, I'm still good right now because I was prepared for this. You got to watch out for that coming your way.
Yeah, that's a whole, that's it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because they'll lose look at people lose their minds for silly stuff. Their team lost, or their Wi-Fi went down, or different things that I don't know.
Could you imagine somebody shooting somebody over Wi-Fi? Like they're trying to get a signal, and like they're just that addicted. They're like,
and that's how ridiculous people are. They're doing stuff and sillier stuff.
Yeah.
But I think those things are coming. That's why you still we can't be bogged down with things. We're going to see horrible things, and we can't be bogged down with it. But we better keep our eyes peeled on, because people could be perfectly, oh, well, I know them. I've seen them around, and I know who they are. I know their parents. They're nice people. Well, I'm telling you, tribulations will make certain people do crazy things and act a certain way.
Absolutely. What is it? What was it? Werewolf peppers and marauders and savages and all that. Yeah.
I've heard all kinds of terms.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, hey, fam, y'all, let me stop talking. I'm gonna prep up spiritually, mentally, and physically. I'm gonna continue to do things because I know it's coming. You know what I mean? I see it. I don't know exactly what's coming, but I know it's right. Not gonna. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a lot worse than what I'm picturing, than what I'm preparing for. So.
Well, I mean, I think that's part of. We always talk about wargaming. Where's Pot B? He's the wargaming guy.
Absolutely.
Did he leave? But I think I put something on his post earlier. We were talking. And he said, I was like, tell him Pot B. And he's like, well, I'm a lot of things. He's like, well, I'm saying this to myself also. A lot of things when we get up here and do this, you ever do like a video yourself or a panel like we're doing or different things? It's like, this is for me. Also, I'm not just saying y'all need to do this and be y'all need. I'm like, this is, even when we do these things, it's reassurance for me. It's a growth for me. It's preparation for me. I mean, all those different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Poppy, we need to get him to do things because I mean, he does the wargaming stuff, and I think that we have to do that for every. And I don't see that as fear mongering or being in the doom and gloom. You better be prepared and have some type of scenario played out in your head and do things for anything that may come your way. Because if you get blindsided by something and you're already stressed or scared and everything else, and people are going to freeze up.
Yeah. I kind of sucked at War Game Wednesday because I was just like, I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm just gonna let everybody have it. They're like, Josh, you can't just do that. Like, we need interrogation. We need information. You can't just go knocking everybody. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, bro. Everybody's getting it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't too good at it. Yeah. I miss that though. Yeah.
I do. Pop B, so you can't go MIA. I'm gonna get Pop B up here. He just don't know it. We're gonna do a war game.
Seriously.
I mean, I think we should all put his feet to the fire right now. What y'all think, Josh?
Of course. I actually was like, bro, what's going on? What's the business? Come on.
We need to. I think that's great because even for me, when I've done one of those before, it's good for me. I mean, it's good because you think. I mean, it may be scenarios I'm like, oh, man, I didn't think about doing that.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, that was my whole thing. Like, no playing around. Like, I was just gonna let everybody have it. Everybody's a threat. And Carbon Q was on, and she was like, well, you might need to get some information. So maybe, and I had to start to really rethink it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I think that's a big thing to do with discernment.
Okay.
Because how much are we may not be on top of our, we talk about that feeling. And that's a big thing I'm pretty good at. But when you're exhausted, when you're stressed, when you're scared, when everything on the list go down that we talk is going to be front and center with us, you may not have that. First of all, you may like you said, like how you reacted, you may have that thing of like everybody's a threat.
Everybody's gonna get it.
Yeah, but there is a certain thing where we're going to need, and I think that also if we have that thing, God's going to send people we need.
Yeah.
He may, and that I think that's the thing. Like when I say you build your tribe or community, everybody's going to play a part and have their specialty.
Yeah.
And we're going to need that. But yeah, you have to be on guard. Don't just let anybody in, or you're asking for a whole other problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to be picking off an angel that got sent my way to help me out.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's a discernment. But I'm not going to say easy either because, there's going to be that protective mode.
Yeah. It's going to be a mess. 20. Yeah, I don't even want to say that date, but yeah. So what is it? 2023. So 7 years. A lot's going to change within that 7 year period, supposedly.
Well, I think even something within the 2 year period, like you were talking about, there's a lot of things being thrown out about 2025.
Yeah.
And so, but even there's been things we've been talking about. There is a lot that they've been saying is going to kind of come into play in the first 6 months of 2023.
Okay.
And then we got the shift of power and the elections and all that stuff. They're going to do something about that.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Here, I got to throw this out. Here's Pop B stuff. I mean, exactly. That's why you have to come up here, Pop B. Yeah, I need to have we're going to do a live because he's good at, he has that background. He's good at that. That's
absolutely
his niche. We need you. So I do. I will have to do one. That'll be a really good one.
See if we can get him to agree to something now. Hey, Pop B, what's up, bro? You in KC? War games? What's up?
We should do that.
Let's see what he says.
Y'all better bring a notepad and pen. Y'all better take some notes.
Let's see what he says. Listen, no wiggle room, Pop B. Come on, bro. Let's see what you got. It needs to happen. He needs to come back.
You want to pop up here? Or you want to wrap up? It's been over an hour. I don't know how your timing is this evening.
I'm just chilling. What?
Josh's wheels are turning.
Huh?
I said Josh's wheels are turning.
I'm waiting for Pop B.
He went MIA. You know how he does.
Hey, Teresa, I'm going to get you the comments like a little bit later on, but I got you covered. Comments, you know me, man. Like, I've been working and stuff, so like I can't get to the comments. So I'm gonna sit down tonight, cross my legs.
Josh on me because I early on with Josh, I was like, man, Poppy always eating. He grabbed food.
He's always eating. Hey, are you,
and
Poppy?
he's looking at me, I'm like, how you eat like that? Eating and drinking.
Bro, Poppy.
He works out. He works out. He must have good metabolism.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Hey, Poppy, so what's up next week? You doing something or what, bro? We want to know. The people want to know.
This is on you, Poppy. I mean,
he can do it.
He's got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We got time. It's like Noah.
Y'all got me started with this, man. What up?
That's backwoods right there. For sure.
Yeah, 300, something like Be Marine, something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, thanks for starting.
You don't have to come up now. I can send you a link. You can come out now if you want, or we can make a plan and do a live.
There it is. Hey, I'm using my power of discernment, and that reply that he just gave you says that he is willing to do it. What right now? He's on the fence. Get him next week. Y'all should do something next week.
I'm just tell me as long as now. See, you just got to give me like the day or evening before. Josh be like, Kelly. He's like 10 minutes. You going? I'm like,
I'm trying to do better.
I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm not.
I'm trying. Fish this.
See, now, okay, everybody write this. Somebody screenshot this right now.
Wait, what?
I'll screenshot that right now.
I don't know how to do it. What is it? Like, let me see. I hit like 3 or 4 different buttons and hope that I hit the right one.
I'll hold you to this.
All right, that's 4 buttons.
Yeah, hit that like button for me. It helps because they're always on me anyways.
Michelle, yeah, she's good at that. Like she'll remind, hey fam, if you're in here and you have not subscribed, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, we were just talking before when we were backstage. It's like shadow ban stuff because I have people all the time like, I cannot find you anymore if I look for you. I can't find you, or nothing ever comes up. I'm like, I'm telling you,
that's crazy. It's crazy. And then there are people that I've been unsubbed to.
Oh, I get subbed all the time to different people.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was specifically looking for like a couple of these channels, so I was going through my list, and I'm like, where are they? They weren't even there. And then then there were people that like I clicked the bell, so I wanted all the notifications.
Right.
And it was like, what's the other one? It's like 2 options. The lowest option. That's what was clicked, and I was like, what is this? They're doing stuff.
Oh yeah, or you gain it. You gain 10 subs, lose 15. I mean it's constantly messing. Well, I told you how they're doing the money thing. They'll do that. They'll fluctuate. And man, I don't know what it is. That live you and I did about warning others. I got a flag on that one.
Really?
The warning other ones. Yeah, it wasn't suitable for most audience and all the stuff. And I was like, what? So then if it's monetized, they take money back away once they flag it. I guess that's where it came from. I guess that's the only thing I can think of because it went down, and I was like, it ain't like it's a lot, I don't. It's not like we're,
But still,
I've never cashed out on here before. Yeah, but they play with that all the time.
Is that why some channels
are gone? But he had to go earlier. But oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. But he said they were always messing with his stuff like that.
Really?
Or they'll go back a year, and all of a sudden, that's why I tell people all the time. I'm like, it was fine a year ago, but it's not fine today, so we're still going to take it. Once it's up and they approved it, you know how you have to go through your process, and if they approve it, that's all them. They just play too much.
The crazy part is, though, is that there's so many different other genres that are horrible and are thriving.
And they don't mess with them a bit.
Thriving. I watched one the other day where it was like at a gas station, and like 6 guys jumped out of the back of this van and just start letting off into this car at a gas station.
And they just leave it.
It's got thousands of. I'm just like, are you serious?
Yeah, they leave those. I don't understand that. I talk about the filth that they leave up on lots of different social platforms. And I just put something up on my community. They always censor the truth, and then they let this other stuff just go.
Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah. It's only gonna get worse. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here and do what I can while we can, because I know at some point this is not going to be available.
It's not, and but that goes to show. Again, we're all here at this very time. We were chosen to be here for a reason. we were chosen to do here up on YouTube, who I never ever would have thought. When you asked me, I was like, I have not been one of those YouTubers. You know what I think about them?
Yeah, me neither.
I was like, that's ridiculous. I do my own thing, and it's not on this type of platform, but here we are, and there's a reason. And I, like we say when we do these lives, we always say, we pray we're helping somebody.
Yeah.
But how much we pray that we helping someone else. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Is how much does it end up? We prepare and we pray about help me reach somebody that needs this, bring them in. We talk about people here. But then how much of it afterwards are you like, man, that really helped me?
Yeah.
I've had to go back and watch some of ours before because I was like that.
Yeah.
Something will happen or go on, and I'm like that. I needed that myself.
Yeah. No, I like how we're talking a little bit earlier in this live, and you're like, you remember we talked about that, and I'm like, I didn't know specifically, but yeah, you told them 3 times, and that's it. I'm learning so much from just this. I really am. Right.
Oh yeah, it's constantly from each other, and it's all the time, and we talk about that and that's why we have to do these things. And we're going to do a war game thing with Pop B. We're going to set it up.
Come on, Pop B.
We'll do it. And he's something else. If y'all haven't, everybody knows.
Hey, I'm going to this the meetup. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah. I really just want to fish. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Maybe me and Backwoods, maybe we can fish off the bank. You know what I'm saying? Just simple stuff. Meet everybody, see everybody.
All y'all over there.
What's that?
All y'all over there.
What? What do you mean?
I'm far. I ain't getting on no plane.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
I can't if I wanted to, right?
Huh? Oh no, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, no, so I'm gonna take a plane and drive the rest of the way, but I'm looking forward to it. It's super cool. Mm-hmm. Hey, but then everybody's gonna be like, they're gonna want me to be like all like excited and worked up and stuff, and they're gonna see the real Josh, like me, like work Josh, like I'm like, what's up?
You be quiet.
I'm here.
Is this your alter ego on here?
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah. I don't know where it came from, but
sometimes he slips back down and he'll get real quiet, and then the people are like, "Was Josh upset? Is he okay? Is he mad?"
I'm not.
That's how he's thinking. Yeah. He's thinking. That's right. Yeah. I know. All right. How you? Anybody got anything before we wrap this up? You find people got anything to throw in that chat? Let us know.
Just doing Pop B next week, or this week, or this weekend, doing something.
Yeah, Poppy, you need to email me. I want to email you about something. We're going to set something up when it works for you.
There it is.
Before you slip away again. He goes out. He probably disappears and does for real, full on war game and stuff. And it's just like gone.
I believe it. Seriously, I can see it. Yeah.
Yes. Thank all of you. Miss Sharon. She's on it. Where am I missing stuff?
Yeah, Sharon's awesome.
Yeah, thank all of you. I appreciate y'all so much. And I love all you guys. I'm always praying for you. And I learned so much from our chat. Our subs, I hate the way sub sounds, but that's, how everybody knows them. I learned a ton from all of y'all. Yeah. Well, dang, Backwoods. He's always cooking and eating something too.
Really?
Y'all got to share.
Oh, it's nachos.
All right, guys. We're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, hit that thumbs up on the way out. I appreciate it. It helps me a lot.
Yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe.
All that YouTube-y stuff, guys. All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe. Keep doing the things, and we'll see you next time.
See y'all, fam. Thank you.